everyone, it's K-Red. Welcome to today's drawing. I want to thank everyone who has subscribed. I really appreciate all the kind comments, and as I draw, I want you all to know I think of you. If you're new to this channel, I am like most of you all, with a day that can be filled with stress and difficult decisions. I'm not a natural artist, but have learned that by drawing with simple lines and doodles, I could take some time to calm my mind and bring myself joy. For today's mandala, we're going to start like we usually do with a simple circle. We're going to add a few lines and see where it takes us. Here's a sneak peek at the end result. I found this one especially fun, and I hope you do too. Let's all get started. So like usual, I started with my circle tool, but today I thought I'd divide the mandala up just slightly different. I found my top and my side centers using the measurements on the side of the circle tool. And then for today, I thought it'd be fun to have these little circles on the outside. And if you notice, when you line them up, just match your numbers the same, and you get some nice even lines and a fun center. And then made these little circles on the side. So I went back to the circle tool, made one circle about a little less than halfway in the circle, just a little close to the middle of the circle. And then for my outside line, I didn't want it to go all the way through the pointed design in the middle, so I stop and start every time I reach that middle. The nice thing about the circle tool being clear, it made it easy to do this. Then I switch to a pencil and make a bunch of circles in the middle at different depths. That way I can decide later if I want it to be darkened in with a pen, or if I just want to use it as a guide to keep things straight and even. You don't have to have these guide marks, but to me it makes it easier to have some uniform lines in there to help with my spacing. If you find that you're drawing your mandala, your page is too big, and you're having trouble deciding what to do, consider doing some sections in pencil. You can always erase it later, but you have it there so that you're dealing with one smaller section at a time. It can really help you be able to tackle a larger piece of paper or a larger project. So I decided I like the center and I want to keep going. I was going to do it by freehand, but I really wanted a stronger line. I got the circle tool back and went ahead and darkened in the circle. Don't let yourself get worried about little imperfections. If you notice on that bottom left, I don't exactly meet the circle I've made. It'll all work out in the end, I promise. So from here, you have to make your first decision. Where do you start? Started with some simple ovals that diminished in size. Along that pencil mark. Remember, as you draw, there's no wrong answer. You just take it step by step and see where you end up. So then I decided to address these points. I found them interesting and decided just to make these little arc lines in them. They come together to a natural darkening of the lines in the middle. That gave it some nice depth. Remember to breathe. Try to go slowly, focusing on your dimensions. One of the ways this helps calm our minds and slow us down is by forcing us to slow down a little bit. Try some controlled breathing. I don't always do it well, but usually by the end it starts to improve. You start to feel the benefits and you're able to move a little bit slower. If you're working on a project that's particularly important to you, maybe one you plan on gifting to someone or one that you've spent some significant time on, try starting each drawing session on a practice drawing first. Help yourself get into the mode. Help yourself get into the mood of drawing. So now I'm going back and addressing that little overlap I had and just adding a darkening on the bottom of each of them as if it was planned all along. So now the decision of where to go next. I used the pencil line to help make sure these arcs were all the same size, and it worked out really well. I went back and did a second thinner line. In Zentangle, they would call it an aura. And then an aura again. A fun favorite fill is just a bunch of little circles. They take very little mind bandwidth. They don't take a lot of thought or precision, and you can really get into a good groove drawing circles. It's a great way to fill a space. So I enjoyed those auras so much, I decided to do an aura on the outside of my ovals that I'd made earlier too. Now that that's done, I can go ahead and darken in that circle nice and easy. For the videos, I always take out my decision-making time. Just helps to make these videos from being too long. But in between each one, I always take a step back, look at the paper. Sometimes I'll turn it, look at it from a different angle, and just see what pops out to me. Whatever draws my eye is where I go next. And for me this time, it was this outer rim. Lots of curved lines on the inside, so let's do some nice, sharp, straight ones on the outside. Remembering again to breathe, to slow our minds, and just enjoy the rhythmic patterns of making the lines. Enjoy the silence. If you're somewhere where there's birds or wildlife, enjoy those sounds. For me, it's usually an audiobook. I put on a book and just enjoy. So in deciding what comes next, I feel like I need some more guidelines. I feel like I need some more structure. So I grab my circle tool and pencil and go back in and add a few more marks along the outside. Doesn't have to be exact. Nothing I do ever is, but just enough to give me some structure. And I use that for these little half circles. Make a lace type pattern along the outside and fill in each one, skipping the point as we go around. Remember to turn your paper if it makes it easier on your arm and your hand. There really is no up or down. I know I have the binding on the side of paper to help me know where it is, but for a mandala or doodling or zentangling, turning your paper is key. Let's just keep going, adding little things here and there. So once that's done, my eye's drawn back to the center, that big gaping hole, and I fill it in with a couple of black circles with a little white spot. I really decided that I need some contrast on this paper. Those black circles helped, but so does darkening in every other line on my points. They still give the optics of coming in at the middle. You still get that depth optic. Almost reminds me of a circus tent or something along those lines. So let's get rid of some of these pencil lines. They're starting to distract me. And let's mirror in these ovals on the inside that we done at the very beginning. Fill in the backgrounds and help the paper look just a little more finished. A flick of the pen helps you be darker at the beginning and taper out. Alright, I think that brings us to a pretty good stopping spot for this video. We'll be able to finish this up in just one more. But in order to keep this video from going too long, I think we'll go ahead and call it here. I really appreciate you all joining me. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, subscribe, and the second half of this video will be out in just a couple days. Thanks again for watching.